Hello everyone, my name is Łukasz. I'm a specialist at Global Black Belt for HPC and AI at Microsoft. And with me we have Instadeep, our partner, Dr. Waqaas Rehman, Business Development Lead. Waqaas, before we start, I would like to ask you a few questions about your personal story. You hold a PhD in physics from the University of Oxford, then you worked at venture capitalist, driven by your passion about entrepreneurship and innovation. And now you have joined an AI startup. How did it happen?
Thank you for having me, Lukasz. It's a pleasure to be here at the Industrial Metaverse event, and it's great to speak here and share some of our thoughts. The journey you described might seem unconventional at first, but I think this is the journey you get to make when you just follow your passion and when you try to surround yourself with people who are leading the charge in fostering innovation, right? So as a researcher, you are very intrigued by fundamental breakthroughs, but what makes me curious is how to translate such breakthroughs into viable businesses which can then have an impact on society and economy. And as a VC, I got to see a lot of machine learning AI startups, and Instadeep is the one that struck me most when I got to meet them first. And I was very fortunate to follow the company for some time, meet the founding team, and really then basically also get to invest in the Series B round of the company. It was a $100 million financing round, and it was a predictable outcome for me to join Instadeep afterwards. So.
Mm-hmm. And today, Instadeep is one of the fastest growing and highest valued AI technology company in this region. The company is increasingly visible in some media. Recently also, according to Financial Times, you are one of top European companies in terms of AI. And also the Time honored your CEO, Karim Beguir, with the Time 100 Impact Award for the work and how the AI can really impact both society and also industry. So how a small startup from Tunisia make to the Time magazine?
What is really fascinating about Instadeep is that we have a founding myth which is real. In a way, what Karim Beguir, he's an applied mathematician, École Polytechnique graduate, and Zora Slim, also co-founder of the company. What they did is not a small feat. Launching a company in one of the most inconspicuous places that you could think of, Tataouine, which is the southernmost city in Tunisia, facing the desert, and just before the big dunes, and launching a company there, and becoming a force to be reckoned with in the AI world, becoming among the ones who are shaping the AI world. Really growing from a two-person show in Tunisia to a global company now with more than 400 people, and the majority of them are researchers and engineers, only passionate about driving change and innovation in AI, right, and accelerating things. So this is really the spirit of Instadeep is a spirit of optimism. This is what I learned, right? If you start that small. In Tataouine, which is, by the way, also the Star Wars film set of George Lucas' Star Wars movie. And it's the same spirit we have, the rebel the rebel which is from planet Tatooine, who is challenging the incumbents to do something good for the world. And that's how I would describe the spirit of Instadeep. Yeah.
So this is fascinating that there is also a connection with the Star Wars and the movie we all know and are fan of. So this is the spirit of Instadeep. How would you define your mission?
So at Instadeep, we really believe that AI is the most transformational technology of our age. We think the impact will be bigger than the internet. And we are saying this from a perspective of a company which is working on and developing AI. So because we are seeing the change firsthand, and this is what makes us believe in it. But what's our mission here? For us, it's really accelerating society, businesses, economy to a world which is AI first, and to a world which is better, to a future world which is better than the one today. This is really what I would describe as our key belief and mission.
One of the strengths of Instadeep that we see is that you are combining the research with real, let's say, industrialization, which means you are bringing some of the novel ideas, novel models and techniques from research into the real applications. So could you talk about recent research advances that you have experienced?
Yeah, maybe you're highlighting a very important point, and it's fundamental. It's a fundamental pillar for our company. We started doing fundamental research in AI in 2015, at a time when very few people were preoccupied with that. I mean, I'm sure you know. I mean, you're from the tech community, and this really gave us an edge. And today we have a bustling R&D department, which is contributing a lot of fundamental breakthroughs via open source publications, via publications in peer-reviewed journals or across top conferences. Just to give you an example, at last year's NeurIPS, which is the world's largest, in a way, prestigious AI conference, we had 13 contributions, which is a testament to the R&D powerhouse which we've built. But translating that research into business applications, that's not a small feat, and I think that's where Instadeep has excelled. And we have around that core of creating know-how, we have built our own skills in engineering that allow us to build very scalable products and also customize them. Yeah.
So one of the technologies that really touched my heart is the reinforcement learning, the deep learning based, and the way you are targeting the industrial problems that cost millions of dollars is just amazing. So could you tell us more about reinforcement learning approach?
Yeah, sure. I mean, obviously, deep reinforcement learning is almost like our bread and butter at the moment, in the sense that for us, it's a second generation style AI, which teaches machines, finally, to take decisions for very complex problems. The right decisions, optimal ones. And imagine having a machine, a brain-like machine, which can learn from its own failures and successes, and thereby optimize its behavior and actions. I think this is what is really, giving this technology the ability to become a very powerful model that solves very complex problems. So we believe a lot in deep reinforcement learning as the sort of new horizon of optimization, especially in the industrial world.
And you came with the term even industrial optimization. So as in the industry, we see some problems that are too complex for, let's say, manual solutions. And you have shown with many examples that your way of training the agents in the virtual environment many times also is much better than heuristics or a human-based approach. Could you tell us more about it?
Yeah, so at the heart of this technology is that it's in a way it's an AI that teaches itself and it learns from experience. It's way more powerful than the classical paradigm where you need a lot of data to train a model and the model is always biased by the data. Here, this is not the case. In a way, you have almost infinite possibilities within the solution space to explore options and novel strategies. And sometimes those reinforcement learning agents will come up with, excellent moves, which then help our clients to solve age-old complexities within the operations, and this is the beauty of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So in autonomous driving space, we see a traditional way of training the models by running an AI model through hundreds of thousands of scenarios, and here we have completely different approach. You can actually create an agent that learns on the fly. And it's not only about autonomous driving, but also in robotics and in energy grid optimization and other places. So could you provide maybe a few examples where you see really impact of industrial optimization bringing benefits to the end customers?
Maybe just to first off, industrial optimization is one of the main themes within Instadeep. And what we really want to do is help, very broadly speaking, across the industry, different domains, whether it's optimizing very complex operations of an airport. I mean, if you think of an airport, the interdependencies you've got, the dynamism you've got within the operations that you need to deal with. And this is where a lot of like classical optimization topics or methods don't deliver, because you need a technology which scales and which can handle those complex tasks, which can navigate this complex solution space, and really, for instance, help airports dispatch and schedule its resources in the most efficient way. I mean, what we are seeing at the moment is that resources are scarce, especially personnel at airports, and people are struggling to go back to pre-pandemic levels. So it's of utmost importance to be able to schedule resources as efficiently as possible, but also other complex problems like chip design. Imagine how complex this problem is with all its constraints. And we have built in-house, in fact, our own tool which allows you to route and place a very complex printed circuit board in a nick of time, and using reinforcement learning agents. So those are a few examples that I would have.
Yes, I remember you told me about one customer. It was so unexpected for him to see your solution in terms of how you have designed the printed circuit boards, that they thought there is a team of engineers, 100 engineers working on the best optimizations, but it was actually the model that you created.
Yeah, I mean, to some it might seem like magic, right? Having this tool doing the routing within a night or 2 nights, it might suggest that we have a group of people in a different time zone doing the manual routing. But we could show them otherwise. We could show them that we could give them access to the tool and show how the routing is done.
Mm-hmm. And also, the applications of industrial optimization can also be, let's say, implemented in a very critical infrastructure, like the example with energy grid optimization. How do you see the reliability of the models? How safely you could leverage AI not to really disrupt existing processes?
Very, very good examples, the national grid that you just pointed out, where we are working actively at the moment, or also railway infrastructure. One of our largest projects is in basically redesigning the way trains are scheduled and dispatched in the most automated way, right? The way we tackle such challenges is by design making sure there's different components within the architecture which kind of make up a safety system, if you look at them as a collection of systems then, right, collectively. And this is very important to have some sort of human in the loop in the end. Although deep reinforcement learning bears the potential of full automation, what we encourage is looking at it as a decision-making support system for the operators, so they can see how the system makes wonderful suggestions for very complex problems. Like imagine helping a train dispatching agent route the trains in very complex scenarios, and this is how we try to tackle that. Yeah.
So you're optimizing airports, you're optimizing railway systems. So I hope that in a couple of years we will have less delays and that.
Well, we all hope that, yeah.
Yes, exactly. But coming back to the energy grid optimization, this is fascinating project, because right now we see that the energy grid is not ready to actually accept so many prosumers generating energies from the renewables, and the costs of dispatching are in multi-millions. Could you tell us more about it?
So at its core, what's happening is the energy transition is changing the operating model for a lot of transmission service operators, those national grid operators. You've got more and more renewables fed into the system, and it makes it difficult to manage the loads. which in previous times was much easier. And what's really happening in Europe right now is that there's a lot of, like ad hoc, I would say, or kind of ad hoc redispatch actions, like firing up plants or firing down plants, ramping down plants, to serve immediate needs. What we figured out, what we are trying to figure out with one of our partners, actually our joint customer basically, is if we can mitigate those actions, if you could minimize those actions. Just to give you a number, it's a multi-billion problem in Germany alone. So we are really tackling this problem and already seeing potential savings in the double-digit percentage space, so to say, right? And so those are the types of problems we like to tackle at Instadeep, complex, and this is where we shine most. Yeah.
Exactly. You created so-called topology optimizer that is able actually to run hundreds of thousands of, if not millions, of different, let's say, variations in terms of how to move energy from one place to another in order to optimize for a specific metric, specific KPI, and to avoid those high costs. And then, do you think that this topology optimizer could really bring a value to European energy grid systems?
Yeah, we think this is currently a blueprint for what we are doing in that project. Is a blueprint for wider, a broader group of TSOs, especially within Europe or even globally, because almost everyone is facing the same problem there. Collaboration is essential. Bringing together the right people, like Microsoft, Instadeep, working hand in hand with the customer. And I think that allows us to really go at it and come up with a solution there.
Mm-hmm. Fascinating. Another question, you are active also in the quantum machine learning and also in the quantum technologies. And you also have the ambition to work closer with us. Could you tell us more about your approach to quantum technologies?
Sure. I mean, this is obviously not so much on everyone's lips as AI at the moment, but we believe it's going to be a very transformational change as well. Quantum computing will have an impact on many technologies and topics that we look at: biology, decision-making problems. The issue that we have is that obviously we're not there in terms of having large-scale devices which are not so noisy and with fewer errors. So what we are currently working at is making sure we can sample relevant information from quantum computers. And also predictably design some sort of quantum computing operations. So we have this on our watch. It's for us, it's an upcoming technology trend, and we see a nice amalgamation with our advanced AI capabilities and how we can combine that with the quantum computing paradigm. So we are very much prepared for that, and we're also very fortunate to be very soon be collaborating with you on the Azure Quantum Elements offering, which is a very advanced HPC and simulation-driven platform to drive such workloads in future, and we're really looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So Azure Quantum Elements is indeed a technology to enable computational material science and enable, let's say, formulation of completely new materials to reduce the energy footprint of the materials, but also to reduce the toxic emissions. So this is also a space where you have some competences in terms of material science and how you could actually develop new combinations of materials, new compositions.
Yeah, so I mean, we have had a good chance in the last few years working on biological systems, and at very large scale, and we think some applications on the quantum side, like accurately predicting binding energies of large molecular systems or modeling protein interactions. I think that's where a lot of work can be done also on the materials in the materials science world, and we're looking forward to seeing what's up there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you mentioned your very strong angle in terms of in the pharma space, and could you tell us more about your recent acquisition?
That's right. I think one of the latest milestones of Instadeep was the acquisition by BioNTech. So we were acquired last year. We're a wholly owned subsidiary of BioNTech now, and the journey really started off with a research conversation between the founder of BioNTech and Ugur Shaheen and our founder Karim Beguir, two very passionate scientists, I would say, but also very driven in terms of solving real-world problems. And we started to collaborate with BioNTech even pre-pandemic, and as you can imagine, the pandemic accelerated our collaboration to new heights. So we really went from, basically down there to a very strategic collaboration. And one of the highlights is the early warning system we developed to detect dangerous COVID-19 variants. It was, for instance, the AI system which we built with BioNTech that red flagged the Omicron mutation within an hour after the data set was uploaded on the GIS8 database. So it was very much possible to then guide the world towards the right mutation within a very short period of time. So this was really interesting, and this really felt like for the company that we are really at the forefront of solving one of the biggest challenges of humanity, which we have been facing for a few years, right? I mean, all of us.
This is very important, interesting aspect. So not only industry and with application that we have mentioned, airports, optimization of airports, railway systems, energy grid optimization, but also in terms of making impact into the society, the example that you mentioned, but you also are working on the biggest modeling of the biggest disasters.
Yes. So when I mentioned our mission statement in the beginning, that for us it's important to drive positive change in AI, we really mean it. I know it's a buzz at the moment around doing good for AI, but we are spending significant resources to make sure that AI can benefit humanity as a whole. We are, for instance, we have developed a low-cost. Together with a partner, we have developed a low-cost breeding ground prediction tool, which helps us to really mitigate some serious food security challenges, especially around the Middle Eastern and African context, pointing authorities towards the low-cost breeding grounds. And the issue is we're talking about millions and millions of locusts, and they eat agricultural crop or plants in a way you won't be able to imagine. And it's a serious challenge, and we're driving that. Also, we are using AI, for instance, to help assess damages in disaster regions, such as where floods are happening or earthquakes, right? Also to help authorities sort of point them towards the most interesting sort of points of interest. This is very important for us, and it's part of our DNA. And certainly also within our African DNA, as in, we originated in Tunisia, and we are aware of many of the challenges within that continent as well, and beyond, right? And we try to transpose those learnings to other areas as well.
And this is amazing to see let's say the variety of scenarios and use cases that you can support with really key and tangible and measurable benefits and KPIs that you can deliver. So this is just amazing collaboration. So we started the collaboration 2 years ago. How do you see our partnership after those first 2 years, and how do you see that in the future?
The partnership with Microsoft, I mean, this is increasingly becoming an essential factor for Instadeep to scale. Scale in terms of building, first of all, really breakthrough AI applications for our clients on a very flexible, advanced and scalable compute platform that Azure is, right? Scaling, secondly, also in a way that what I really like about both our companies, we are very customer focused, very close to the customer. And this is something I really enjoy when we work with Microsoft, that what is top of mind for us is how can we create business value for our customer? How can we solve an essential problem for them? And if you have this kind of mindset and you bring such a group together, and you know we have been doing amazing things together. You mentioned the electrical grid optimization and many other topics that we're working on. This is how I see the partnership also evolving, and I see it only as a beginning. Yeah.
Exactly, I feel the same. We will continue to really make an impact, and a positive impact for society, and also for the industry. Absolutely. Is there anything else you would like to share with the audience? Is there any final thought?
Sure. I mean, there's a lot of things I can talk about, but what is really top of mind at the moment for me is we work a lot with large enterprises and industries, and a lot of them have very similar problems. But one thing I would really want to highlight is create more awareness that the majority of the data in the world is buried within companies. And unlocking this data is really key, because we believe at Instadeep that each company will be able to build its own AI agents that interact and optimize operations, but also beyond that, right? And building those AI agents will be key for those companies to remain competitive. And I believe each company has its own unique set of AI agents, because each company is unique in terms of their business. And especially in Europe, we are studded with companies who have been very good at what they're doing for 100, 200, sometimes 300 years. You're surprised when you look at the founding year of many of those companies. And this is the message we want to convey, that future-proof yourself with AI. We feel this is just the beginning, but it's also an opportunity, especially for the industry in Europe and beyond.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So we also think that this is just a beginning. We are just about to discover the fascinating applications, bringing value and also bringing innovation in the sense of reduction of the costs, including the know-how from the engineers into the models, so that to address future problems. And industrial optimization is at the heart of that journey. Another question I have is around your research activities. So what are you working on right now?
So we have a very elaborate research roadmap. As I told you, AI innovation is a key pillar for us. We are working on many fundamental breakthroughs within like reinforcement learning, quality diversity, multi-agent systems, also building foundational models in biology. And especially in reinforcement learning, what is really interesting is that we have managed to build some of the most advanced algorithms. If you look at our paper on population-based training, or COMPASS, which is our own sort of set of reinforcement learning algorithms, sort of multi-agent and looking at population-based performance. And really, with those kind of algorithms, we've been able to set state-of-the-art performance, like across basically the most challenging combinatorial optimization problems, whether it's knapsack, traveling salesman, capacitated vehicle routing, and we're very proud of that. And I encourage to check out the papers. They're really telling. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of your ambitions how would you like to scale as a small startup? Well, not that small, but how would you like to scale in future?
This question is top of mind for me as a business developer, and especially for our BD team and the company as a whole. We are looking forward to make a next move in future, where we are planning to build a unified and compound sort of a unified and streamlined offering of our core expertise in reinforcement learning, constituted by our main reinforcement learning frameworks and libraries. So it will be a unified and a platformized type of or packaged offering, and really with the aim to accelerate our customers even more, right? To really make available our state-of-the-art sort of performing algorithms to our clients, so we can solve more and more complex problems for them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think we would be working together with you on solving this challenge for our clients. Yeah.
So thank you, Waqaas. It's been a pleasure, a super exciting discussion, and thank you everyone for your attention.
Thank you, I enjoyed it.